This week's video, we're going to be talking about the top 3 key road games the Chiefs will have in 2012. The first matchup I'm going to talk about is the Week 3 matchup against the New Orleans Saints. The Chiefs have a 4-5 record all-time against the Saints, with the first matchup being in 1972 when Len Dawson led the Chiefs to a 20-17 victory over Archie Manning and the Saints, the difference in that game being a fourth-quarter field goal from Chiefs kicker Jan Stenerud. I think the big thing about this game, it's going to be the first playoff caliber road test the Chiefs will have this season. We're going to get a great opportunity to see where the Chiefs stack up against a team that's going to be a favorite in the NFC. Obviously, the Saints had a rocky offseason, but they still got Drew Brees and Darren Sproles. They've got Jimmy Graham at tight end, and the rest of those guys on the offense. So they're going to be a team that's still going to be a favorite in the NFC, and the Chiefs are going to have an opportunity to see kind of where they stack up against a team like the Saints. And it's also going to test the pass rush for the Kansas City Chiefs. We know Drew Brees in that offense is going to throw the ball. They're going to be chucking it around, and finding a pass rush opposite Tamba Ali was the focus of the offseason. A lot of Chiefs fans are talking about the maturation of Justin Houston and Allen Bailey, and then possibly Dontari Poe getting in the mix. So finding a pass rush, making Drew Brees uncomfortable is going to be a huge key in this game. And then from the defensive side, a huge key in this game is going to be containing Saints running back Darren Sproles. He averaged 6.9 yards per carry last year and 8.3 yards per reception. Those are huge numbers, and they like to get him involved in the offense, obviously. And the other key in this game is going to be the Chiefs' offense. Obviously, they were missing some pieces last year, but they only averaged 13 points per game. The New Orleans Saints averaged 34 points per game. So obviously, that's a huge difference, and I would say the number for the Chiefs, they want to keep it around to be 24. I think if the Chiefs give up more than 24 points to the Saints and get into a shootout, that's not going to be a good thing for the Chiefs. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Week 10 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have the Chiefs with a projected record going into that game of 5-3. With the last 10 matchups with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we've alternated wins. 2 years ago, the Chiefs won. Last year, the Steelers won. So this year, obviously, would be the Chiefs' chance. But let's make no mistake about this game. It's going to be the Todd Haley Bowl. That's going to be what everyone's talking about going into this game. And the narrative going into that game is going to have a lot to do with how these teams are doing going into this game. If the Chiefs are playing really well and they have a 5-3 record, despite what Pittsburgh is doing at the time, it's going to change it. Hopefully both teams are doing well, and Todd Haley moving on to Pittsburgh can be viewed as a win-win for both sides. The other thing with this game is this will be the second primetime game in a row the Chiefs will have. The week before this, on Thursday night, they're going to be taking on the San Diego Chargers on primetime football. And this is a Monday night matchup against Todd Haley and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Chiefs are going to get a chance in front of the entire country in the middle of the season to show how far they've come along, to show whether they're for real or not. And it's going to be a huge thing for the Chiefs to show the entire country where they're at. And anytime you play a physical team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the key in this game is going to be the trenches, the offensive and defensive lines. Obviously, we made a concerted effort during the offseason with Eric Winston drafting Jeff Allen and Donald Stevenson to upgrade the beef along the offensive line. And then Dontari Poe, Rapati Pitaua, I think is how you say his name. Obviously, those pieces are going to play a huge part, and if we can win the trenches, I like our chances in this game. And then Matt Castle's got to answer in this game. Last time Castle and the Chiefs played the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Chiefs won 27-24. Castle had 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and his 2 leading receivers in that game were Chris Chambers and Lance Long. I think that'll tell you how far the offensive weapons and the personnel around Castle has come compared to what he's going to be throwing to now compared to what he threw to back then. And then the last matchup I'm going to talk about is against the last game of the season, the Week 17 matchup against the Denver Broncos. I have the Chiefs with a projected record of 10-5 going into this game. I think they're going to have a pretty good season, and I do think that this game will determine the AFC West champion. I don't know how everybody else is going to do it. I know the Chiefs are going to be in this, and I believe that this game is going to be a huge key for the AFC West, whether it's between Denver and Kansas City and the winner takes it, or some other combination. But we all know that Peyton Manning has done well against the Chiefs. He has a 7-1 record all-time against the Chiefs, but he has struggled against Romeo Crennel. He's 2-5 in his career against Romeo Crennel, and that being 0-5 from his time in Indianapolis, but then 2-0 when Romeo Crennel was head coach in Cleveland. The big thing with this game also is just keeping Peyton Manning off the field. Jamaal Charles has had a good career so far against the Denver Broncos. He has 81 rushes for 492 yards for just over 6 yards per carry average in his career against Denver. So obviously establishing the run game with Jamaal Charles, with Peyton Hillis, is going to be a huge key in this game. Keep Peyton Manning off the field, limit the number of drives that he has the ball, and I think the Chiefs will have a good chance. But this game's going to be about defense. It's going to be about the Chiefs getting after Peyton Manning. You know, Romeo's time against Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning's always had a high completion percentage, but obviously in the 7 games, it's 9 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and he doesn't score a lot of points. So may let him complete a lot of passes, but doesn't let him get big gains and keeps him from scoring points, which is the whole point to begin with. So those are the 3 key games I have for the Chiefs this season. Let me know if you have any others that you think are more important, and let me know what you think about this channel and how we're doing.